Good evening and welcome to BJC Halacha A number 1743. A halacha that keeps the Yetzer Hara away. And we started the new chapter, the laws of one who is suffering from a minor ailment and one with a non-life-threatening illness. And we're in this very interesting introduction here. Nevertheless, they instituted this prohibition only for one who is essentially healthy, but is suffering from a local pain or other minor ailment. In other words, we're talking about things that you can't do. You can't take this medicine, you can't take the aspirin, right? Because we used to chop down and grind the medicine. So even though nowadays we don't do that, we still say it's prohibited. But again, we're talking about someone who's basically healthy. And it's just a little bit of local pain. For that person, he should not take medicine. The first part of this siman, this chapter, is devoted to explaining the details of this prohibition and its applications to certain remedies that were common in earlier times. Says the footnote, many of the remedies used in earlier times and discussed by the Yetzer are no longer considered medically appropriate in our times. Obviously, such remedies should not be employed even on weekdays, and one must consult a medical professional for guidance on the proper procedure to be followed, and with a halachic authority with regard to the permissibility of the procedure on Shabbos. Okay. However, when the ailment will cause a person to stay in bed, or his entire body is debilitated from the pain or illness, not only does this prohibition not apply, but in fact, depending upon the severity of the condition, at certain times a number of leniencies are allowed with regard to Shabbos prohibitions. All restrictions and prohibitions of our siman apply only when there is no possible danger to life. When one's life may be in danger, all Shabbos prohibitions are suspended, and one is required to pursue any relevant remedy as detailed in the next siman, because the idea is that it's important to violate Shabbos so that you can keep many more Shabbos if there's a concern for life or death. Okay, let's see commentary 5 here. According to Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, a fever higher than 102 degrees Fahrenheit, or if one is concerned even of a fever of 101 degrees, may constitute a life-threatening situation. If one suffers from an internal illness, even a lower grade fever may be considered life-threatening. For a child, any fever over 100 degrees may be considered life-threatening. A medical professional and a knowledgeable halachic authority should be consulted. Baruch Hashem, many communities, including Houston, have Hatzalah, so you can also ask someone there with Hatzalah or an ER doctor if you know one. Often, Baruch Hashem, a lot of doctors in shul. The laws of healing on Shabbos, especially with the advent of modern medical procedures, are quite complex. When faced with a practical question in these matters, one must consult a competent halachic authority, a rabbi who really knows these laws, who is also well-versed in medical issues. Says, one more commentary, one excellent work on this subject is Halachas of Refuah on Shabbos by Rabbi Badner. Okay, so he's recommending a book. Again, that was really the editor of this Yetzer, because the Yetzer was written probably in the early 1900s. All right. Thanks for listening. To sponsor each Halacha 36-100 of gold. And that takes us through the introduction. God willing, tomorrow we will start our first Halacha.